Cool. So are you ready for the top five Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, I guess.
You got your list now?
I got my list.
Checking it twice.
uh,
All right. Who goes first this time?
I think you went first last time.
All right, go for it.
All right, number five, the latest one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, really? It made your top five. Okay.
Yeah,
Who?
yeah. I I saw it once,
Yeah.
and uh, it was okay. I mean, it had DiCaprio and Pitt in it. Uh, it was more about Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I saw it just once too. So did you see it a second time?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I've been meaning to watch it a second time.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I'm sure I missed things about it.
Sure, yeah. There's some of the dialogue goes quick, and there's a lot of good humor sprinkled throughout the movie. The chemistry with Pitt and DiCaprio is great. For me, it just felt long in parts. The parts where he's doing the Western movie, and it just felt a little long and drawn out. And then, of course, you're waiting to get to the big ending that everyone knows
Yeah,
is going to be violent in some way.
yeah, it wasn't as long
Hmm.
and boring as Hateful Eight was.
Right. Yeah,
It was a
definitely.
little bit more upbeat.
Yes, yes. And yeah, I mean, Pitt was great, especially driving the car around and just them kind of capturing the era and the essence of California in that time.
Yeah, it was like a buddy movie.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, that I would have enjoyed if there was maybe more of that in the movie, I guess. Um, and even like the parts with Margot Robbie, I know they were necessary because you had to show her character throughout the movie as well, but it didn't seem to really add anything. Um, in my opinion, to the emotional weight of it. But yeah, the ending, of course, is insane and pretty great. We can't really give it away, but as with other Quentin Tarantino movies, you have an alternate reality to what truly happened.
Yes.
Which, if you go into this movie without knowing about the Manson murders, then you may be lost actually to like what the hell was that about?
Yeah.
you know. But if you know and Sharon Tate, meant something to you, I think it's a cool movie.
I mean, the thing is that I think he knew that everybody knew about the Manson movies,
Right.
and he was like doing like background leading up to it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you're just there going, "Come on, I know about it. Just do it already."
Ex- Exactly. Yeah, that's what it felt like. The most of the movie was like, just get to it already, man.
I
But
know. I think that that's what he was doing. He was
yeah,
like creating an intense. And
anticipation. Yeah.
yes, thank you.
Yes, exactly.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
so
translating.
I do
Uh,
have a feeling that if I saw it again, I would probably enjoy it more, like you're saying. So that's cool that you have it on your list. It didn't make mine, but my number five is Reservoir Dogs.
yeah, I never saw Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that I mean, it's the one that started it all for Tarantino, his first big movie, and the all-star cast from Steve Buscemi to Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, all these guys who actually a lot of them were not that known at the time, but in the inner Hollywood circle, some really great guys in the movie. Tarantino plays a character as well. I think he was Mr. Pink. They all had color names, Mr. This and Mr. That. And it's been a long time since I've seen it, but there's some iconic scenes There's one you may have heard about where Michael Madsen is torturing this guy and like cuts his ear off, and it's just like this scene that keeps going on, and but it's one of those things like Tarantino, he's almost steals from Scorsese a lot, especially in his early movies, where he's got this soundtrack of like upbeat music to these horrifying scenes. And throughout that scene, there's a song by Harry Nilsson, Coconut, that's like this have to put the lime in the coconut. And he's like, meanwhile, he's torturing this guy. And that kind of sums up the film. And of course, there's a lot of death. And a lot of the guys don't make it. Oh, Harvey Keitel is more or less the lead role in the movie, so he's got some weight there. But yeah, just for the fact I wanted to mention it on the list. I knew it wouldn't make our combined top five, but um, that's really what put Tarantino on the map. So you should check it out.
Okay. Yeah, definitely will.
Okay, so what's your number four?
My number four is the Django.
Django Unchained. That is
Yeah.
also my number four.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
may have
like
a similar rest of our list here. Let's see.
I think what it was that I liked about it the most was the German aspect of it in the West.
Yes, that it was very interesting. Christoph Waltz, who he won his second supporting actor Academy
Yes.
Award in a row for a Tarantino movie. But yeah, he was great in that. Just when he pulls up in that stagecoach with the tooth over it because he's a dentist supposedly.
Yeah.
and and this German bounty hunter in the old West. Just that concept is great.
I think I even liked him better in this movie than I liked him better in the other movie.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's got the charisma that he had in *Inglorious Bastards* as well, but he's more or less a good guy in this movie, where in the
Yes.
other he's like pure evil. But yeah, Jamie Foxx as Django was great too. Um, there's a lot of scenes that stick with you. Um, Kerry Washington as his wife, Broomhilda, that they have to go rescue, and then of course DiCaprio, um, really like with an over the top performance as Calvin Candy, the um, the slave owner, and then Samuel Jackson, of course. I mean, great cast. The movie, I would have ranked it higher had it not been once again as long. I felt like it could have ended sooner. Like there was additional shootouts and things at the end of the movie that I thought went a little long. But yeah, great movie. The scenery too in the movie was amazing.
Yeah. And it had, you know, about white supremacy and slavery. And
Right.
it was showing like the bad part
Yeah.
of, uh, the white people,
There's a hilarious scene with the KKK where they're having issues seeing because of the masks and complaining about it and stuff. With Jonah Hill is in that scene, and what's his name from Miami Vice. He's Tarantino always is great at like bringing in these actors that sometimes haven't done stuff in a while, but he gives them like a second life in their career. But yeah, great stuff.
yeah, it's almost like, you're trying to win a badge to get into a Tarantino movie. It's like
Right.
everybody wants to get into a Tarantino movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to think of who hasn't been in one at this point. But yeah, yeah, good choice. Okay, so what's your number three?
My number three, and this is also on your list, is Inglorious Bastards.
Uh-huh. Yep. I will have that on my list higher.
higher.
Yep. But yeah, excellent choice.
Yeah, World War II.
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh, again, from the opening scene, it grabs you. I mean, they're somewhere in France, and just that one scene with Christoph Waltz where the tension is building this entire opening scene because you know that the guy is hiding people in the basement and he knows that they're hiding in the basement, but the dialogue is just man, there's some really intense that one, and later in the bar where there's this build up to another violent scene. It's he's excellent at that, and
yeah. I mean, the most memorable scene for me was the baseball bat scene,
yes, right, the
and
bear Jew.
that was a
Yeah,
buildup of tension too.
yes, indeed. Yeah, yeah, that was great. And Brad Pitt, it was awesome in this. I thought he should have been nominated for at least best supporting actor in that, where his ridiculous southern accent, and then on top of that, towards the end of the movie where he's pretending to be supposedly this like Italian director or something, and he's still got the southern accent trying to do Italian. It's so funny, man. And then yeah, Christoph Waltz, man, he plays one of the best villains of all time in my opinion. He's just like pure evil, but then also throughout the movie you see that he's in it for himself as well. So he's like got his own agenda.
Right, and then there's a twist on that too.
Right. Yeah. Alternate history with Mr. Adolf Hitler himself,
Yeah,
which when that happened, I remember like some people that saw it hated it for whatever reason, but I thought it was great, man. The whole theater scene,
yeah,
just it was
yeah. The
nuts.
other scene was like unbelievable.
Yeah, man. It's so Tarantino, the master of violence, of like righteous violence. But yeah, one of my faves. So okay, my number three is Jackie Brown. Did that make your list?
Now, I never
Ah,
saw
okay.
Jackie Brown either.
What? How did you not see that? As I mean, you got in supporting roles Robert De Niro and Sam Jackson, and then you've got man, this might be the ultimate in Tarantino bringing back some of these older actors, Robert Forster and Pam Grier, who were bigger in the '70s, gave them a second life in this, and they were had an amazing chemistry. It was almost like a love movie for a Tarantino movie. I mean, there wasn't exactly there's still tons of violence and the crazy dialogue, but it's more of a slow moving movie for his usual. Like this came on the heels of Pulp Fiction and totally different movie. And I think that's what I enjoyed about it. Of course, the music is great. Michael Keaton is in this movie as well as a supporting role. Kind of gave him another career boost because he hadn't done anything in several years. But Samuel Jackson's awesome in it. Yeah, it's a great one. So definitely you got to watch this one.
Yeah, both those are on my list.
Okay. Okay.
'Cause, as I was putting my list together,
Yeah.
I saw those two movies,
Hmm.
and then I'm going, God, I never saw those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. Well, yeah, I think you would. I think you'd like it. I mean, it's one that De Niro plays a role that you wouldn't quite expect because he plays kind of dumb in the movie, which is kind of part of the humor of it. But yeah, I won't give it away. So I think you'll dig it. So, what is your number two?
my number two is Pulp Fiction.
Ah, mine too. Okay, so now I think I know what your number one is, but And I think you know what mine is too. But yeah, Pulp Fiction, yes, absolutely. A good number two spot.
Yeah,
I mean, I said Reservoir Dogs is what started it all, but this is really what made Tarantino a household name.
yeah. I think because I came to like watching Tarantino later,
Hmm.
so I think that's why I missed things like Reservoir Dogs
Right.
and the other one that you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, man. There's not another movie like it, really. I mean, just the way that he goes back and forth with the timeline is very cool. And the first time you see it, it's almost like a jarring experience because you're like, wait, didn't he die already? What's going on here? And as far as this is the ultimate in rejuvenating someone's career with Mr. John Travolta, who was fantastic in this as Vincent Vega, and the chemistry that he and Samuel Jackson have together. I think those two guys, that's two of their greatest roles of all time. Just the banter in the car about the what the metric system and McDonald's, you can get a Royale with cheese or whatever in Europe, and then just all the side characters are great. Ving Rhames, Harvey Keitel, Tarantino himself, Christopher Walken, man, that one scene where he's talking about to young Bruce Willis about his dad's watch. Every scene in this is classic.
Yeah, there was a lot of wordplay in it. I mean,
Yeah,
that was one of the things that set this Tarantino movie apart from the other movies, other than, gunplay.
right. Yeah. Uma Thurman was great in this too. This is the movie that really got her known. Her whole scene, and the craziness with the drug overdose, that scene is insane. And then the Bruce Willis thing with the with, where he ends up in the basement, and he has to like get the sword, and oh my God, man, it's like it is one of the weirdest movies ever made that became like this pop culture phenomenon, and deservedly so, I think.
Yeah, that's why it's in the number two.
Yeah, very good. So I know you're number one, I think, because I think we've mentioned nearly all of his films at this point, right?
Uh, yeah, I
Between
mean,
the
there
two
was
of us.
only 10,
Right,
9 if you count, one and two, which
right.
happens by chance to be my number one.
Uh-huh. So it
Kill
is
Bill.
Kill Bill. Okay.
Yes. And I
Yeah,
put the two together. Number
that makes
one was
sense.
probably a little bit better than number two.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I almost put it on my list because I mean, it's a highly entertaining movie.
The
Both
choreography
chapters.
of the fighting scenes alone
Yeah.
is worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
especially in one where they go to the like that dojo looking place, and her versus Lucy Liu, that whole scene is like
yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
then, the thing with the snake,
Hmm. Yeah.
and then the ending of the first one,
Hmm.
then, the
Getting buried
resurrection.
alive and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and it would probably go up there with Django actually as one of the best revenge movies of all time. It's right there in the title. She's out to kill Bill, and Carradine was great as Bill in the movie too. Of course, peppered in are other Tarantino regulars like Michael Madsen.
yeah,
Daryl Hannah was really good as one of the villains with the eye patch.
yeah.
Uh, but it was totally Uma Thurman's show. And yeah, she was incredible, the things that she did physically in the movie. Um, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm amazed that I don't think she was nominated for anything for that, right?
I don't remember offhand.
The Academy normally kind of overlooks action related movies. And I think this was seen as primarily an action film, I guess.
Yeah, well,
But
it had like maternal overtones because the
yeah.
whole thing was that she wanted to see her daughter.
Hmm. Right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, there's heart to the movie.
and the scene where she's ready to fight, and
Hmm.
then the kid walks in the door, and
Right.
she asks the kid politely to go outside
Right.
because mommy was having a discussion.
Yeah, that part is great too. Yeah, I gotta say. Yeah, and just, I mean, her tenacity of getting through each thing that she has to go through, and then the whole concept of her having this move where you hit someone in a certain way and their heart explodes or whatever. It's just great, man. So, okay, cool. I like that list. So my number one from earlier is Inglorious Bastards. Um, I just that movie hit me just I don't know what it was about it, but I mean, of course, we already mentioned the great ending, um, but I just love the way that movie was pieced together. And um, Melanie Laurent, I think, is the one that plays Shoshana. I forgot to mention her earlier. Her character, I thought, was kind of the heart of the movie, the one that gets away in the beginning, and then she has the movie theater, and she was excellent in the movie as well. Like every character, I thought was really well fleshed out. I think a lot of people were disappointed that the bastards weren't in the movie as much, but I kind of liked how they were almost like supporting to the movie, when you think about it. So, yeah, that is my number one.
All right, good.
So, all right. Well, now this is going to be tough to put together, but I guess we're going to put the ones we have in common first,
Right,
right?
so Inglorious Bastards would have to be number one.
Or we could put Pulp Fiction at one because we both had it at two.
No, at two. Yeah, that would be right then.
Okay, let's do that. And that makes sense. I think that would probably be a lot of people's number one anyway.
Right. Yeah, and if you add one and three together and divide by two, it comes out to be number two.
Yes. So Inglorious Bastards at two. And then the only other one we have in common, I believe, is Django, right? We could put that at three.
Which one?
Django Unchained.
Yes.
Okay. So then four and five. So we'll put Kill Bill at four. And then I guess Jackie Brown would be five because I had that at three. And your next highest was number five on your list.
No,
Once upon a time.
my next highest was number one.
Yeah, yeah, that Kill Bill. So I put
Yeah.
that at four
Oh,
and
you did?
Jackie
Okay.
Brown at five. That's a really solid list.
Yeah, it is.
Man. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So honorable mentions, I think the only other movie we didn't mention is the one with Kurt Russell where he's like killing people with a car. I can't even remember the name of it. Death Proof, I think.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, I think Death Proof was the name. Uh, that's the only one I haven't seen actually. So, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that one
All
either.
right, so you got another one to add to your list, I guess. But okay,
Well,
cool.
you didn't see uh, Hateful
Oh,
Eight.
that's right. I started Hateful Eight and I was like, yeah, I know this one's not going to be for me. But and yeah, I think that's probably lower on a lot of people's lists as well, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So okay, solid list. Let's read off the official best Quentin Tarantino movies. Here we go. At number five, Jackie Brown. At number four, Kill Bill. At number three, Django Unchained. At number two, Inglorious Bastards. And at number one, Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so we've done another director. So do you have my schedule pulled up that I emailed you? I think
Uh, no, let
I'm
me see.
thinking next week we can start the yearly thing if you're up for it for 1975. So we can start getting through the 70s.
Which one again?
1975, the year,
Oh, okay.
which I think is a really good year to start
It is. It's got like
yearly
a
because it has one of the first official blockbusters. I think that's when the term came out. So I'm sure that'll be on our list. But yeah, lots of good stuff in that year. So that's going to be cool.
yeah,
So be on the lookout for that one, everybody. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do, because we got a lot more content coming on the way. Good stuff. If you like this, like it, and all that stuff. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. And I'll see you on the next one. Love you.
love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.